What resort opened first in North America for the 2025 to 2026 ski season? Where can you actually find decent snow in early November? And which resorts have already had to push back their opening dates? If you've been itching to get your first turns in this season, you've got options, but they're limited. The 2025 to 26 ski season kicked off 2 weeks ago with Colorado resorts leading the charge, followed by some early openings in Alberta thanks to some significant early season snowfall. I'll take you through exactly what's open right now across North America, what terrain you can actually access, and what to expect if you head to any of these mountains this week. No marketing hype, just the reality of early season conditions. Colorado once again leads the charge with Keystone claiming first to open status for North America on October 25th. But there's actually an interesting story here. Arapahoe Basin had been promoting their October 26th opening for weeks, positioning themselves to grab the coveted first to open title as they often do. In a classic Colorado ski industry power move, Keystone surprised everyone by quietly preparing their terrain and then announcing via social media just hours before that they'd spin the River Run gondola that same afternoon. By opening from 3 to 6 p.m. on October 25th, they technically snagged the first to open crown from Arapahoe Basin by less than 24 hours. These opening date competitions might seem like marketing games, and they absolutely are, but they're also part of the fun of early season and have been a Colorado tradition for decades. Keystone is currently operating 4 lifts: River Run Gondola, Montezuma Express, Peru Express, and Summit Express. In terms of terrain, it's exactly what you'd expect for October. A handful of beginner trails, including Endeavour, Ina's Way, Schoolmarm, and Silver Spoon. That means you're looking at groomed green runs with the occasional bottleneck where everyone funnels together. Based on reports from opening weekend, the crowd situation was significant, but has tapered off now that the initial excitement has passed. If you're desperate for turns, Keystone is a solid option, but manage your expectations. This is definitely early season riding. Arapahoe Basin followed as planned on Sunday, October 26th. Perhaps a bit salty about Keystone's surprise maneuver, they received about 4 inches of fresh snow on opening weekend, which helped with conditions, but the reality is they're operating just one lift, the Black Mountain Express, and one trail, High Noon. If you've visited Arapahoe Basin for early season before, you know exactly what to expect. The infamous white ribbon of death, where everyone from first-timers to expert riders all share the same narrow strip of snow. It's manageable, but it's crowded and gets scraped off quickly. Arapahoe Basin is open 7 days a week for as long as conditions permit. The benefit here is that their higher elevation tends to preserve snow quality better than some other early season options. Winter Park continued their Halloween opening tradition, firing up the lifts on October 31st. They currently have 4 lifts operating: Arrow, Cabriolet, Endeavour, and Gemini Express, which provide access to 4 beginner trails: Lower Parkway, Porcupine, and Village Way. The terrain is limited but spread across multiple trails, which helps with congestion compared to single trail openings. Still, don't expect anything beyond basic green runs with mostly man-made snow at this point. Moving north to the Canadian Rockies, Sunshine Village made a surprise announcement on Saturday, November 1st, that they would open the following day, marking their earliest opening in resort history. The early opening was made possible by significant early season snowfall, with their current snow report showing 132 centimetres, 4 feet 4 inches, of cumulative snow so far. Sunshine currently has 6 of their 12 lifts open and an impressive 38 runs available, far more terrain than any other resort open right now in North America. If you're looking for the best early season conditions, this is clearly where you want to be. The combination of natural snowfall, higher elevation, and colder temperatures has allowed Sunshine to open a surprising amount of terrain for early November. For those willing to make the trip to Banff, this is as good as early season gets. Lake Louise followed Sunshine's lead, opening early on November 4th after receiving 29 centimetres of fresh snow in the 48 hours before their announcement. They currently have 3 lifts operating: Grizzly Gondola, Juniper Express Chair, and the Magic Carpet in the learning area, which provide access to 6 runs and 2 small terrain parks. The terrain parks feature 8 fun features, giving park riders an early season option that most other open resorts don't currently offer. Their current base depth sits at 52 centimetres, with a season total of 96 centimetres so far. On-mountain amenities include the cafeteria, slopeside coffee bar, and powder keg lounge, with snow school, rentals, repairs, and retail all operating. Like Sunshine, Lake Louise is benefiting from the early natural snowfall in the Canadian Rockies, offering significantly better conditions than most US resorts at this point. That perfect moment when the powder flies above your head. The adrenaline rush of getting a new top speed on a freshly groomed piste. The breathtaking alpine views that are so good that you have to show your mum. Some moments are too extraordinary not to share. But here's the reality of mountain connectivity. This icon shows up a lot. Unless you've got Roamless and their eSIMs. I live streamed the Ski World Championships from Saalbach Hinterglemm, sent real-time videos from the top of Hintertux Glacier, and video called my mum from the gondola at Kitzbühel just to show her the view. With Roamless, I'm always connected to the fastest local networks, so I can share every incredible moment instantly. The app even tells me when I'm running low. Topping up takes seconds, and I can do it from a chairlift. Because what's the point of taking an epic ski adventure if there's no one to share it with? Use code SNOWSTASH for $5 USD free credit. Roamless and their eSIMs. Share the world wherever you are. Back in Colorado, Copper Mountain joined the party this past week, opening on Thursday, November 7th. The terrain is extremely limited, with just 3 of 159 trails open and 1 of 23 lifts operating. They're reporting an 18-inch base, which is entirely reliant on snowmaking at this point. Copper typically focuses their early season efforts on the upper mountain around the Super B area, which tends to hold snow better. If you're heading to Copper this week, prepare for very limited terrain and likely crowds on what little is open. Breckenridge also opened on November 7th, with a similarly limited offering. They're operating 3 of 35 lifts, the Breck Connect Gondola, Colorado Superchair, and 5 Superchair. Currently, they have just 1 trail open, Springmire on Peak 8. Opening weekend saw decent crowds despite the limited terrain, which is typical for Breckenridge given its popularity. Like other Colorado resorts, they're working with primarily man-made snow at this point, so expect typical early season conditions. Firm in the morning, softening throughout the day, and getting scraped off by afternoon. Banff Norquay kicked off their 100th season on November 8th, making them the 3rd Canadian resort to open. They currently have 2 lifts operating, Cascade and Sundance, providing access to 2 similarly named trails. It's worth noting that Norquay will close temporarily from November 10th to 14th before reopening full-time on November 15th. The Cascade Lodge, Snow School, and rentals are all operating during their opening weekend. Their snow report shows a 30 centimetre base on the lower mountain and 35 centimetres on the upper mountain, with 9 centimetres of fresh snow in the past week. Loveland Ski Area in Colorado also opened on November 8th, running their Chet's Dream Lift to access 3 trails, Catwalk, Mambo, and Home Run. They're reporting a 13-inch total base depth so far, with early season conditions similar to other Colorado resorts. Moving east, Killington Resort fired up the lifts on November 12th thanks to solid early season snowfall. They've picked up 13 inches in the past week and currently show a 12-inch base. 3 lifts are operating, the K1 Express Gondola, Northridge Quad, and Snowden 6 Express, providing access to 23 open trails. That's significantly more terrain than what you'll find at most Western resorts right now. The forecast is calling for consistent snowfall over the coming days, so if you're anywhere in the northeast and itching for turns, Killington might be your best option at the moment. Sunday River also kicked off the northeast season alongside Killington on November 12th. They're running just the Lock Mountain Triple with 2 trails open, Upper Sunday Punch and T2. What's interesting here is that their snow report shows 0 inches of natural snowfall, meaning they're working entirely with man-made snow. Despite the limited terrain, it's worth noting that T2 is graded as an advanced run. You don't often see black diamond terrain open this early in the season anywhere in North America, so credit to Sunday River for getting some proper pitch available for stronger skiers rather than just beginner trails. It's worth mentioning that not all planned early openings have worked out. Both Bryan Head in Utah and Mount Rose Ski Tahoe in Nevada had planned to open on November 7th and 8th, respectively, but both have now postponed their opening days due to warm temperatures and lack of snowfall. Bryan Head has rescheduled for November 14th, while Mount Rose has yet to announce a new opening date. If you're truly desperate for turns and can't make it to any of these resorts, Big Snow in New Jersey remains the only indoor ski facility in North America, offering lift-serve skiing and riding year-round, though obviously on a much smaller scale than any actual mountain resort. So, what's the takeaway for early November riding? If you want the best conditions, head to Banff, where natural snowfall has created a far better early season than anywhere in the US currently offers. Sunshine Village, with its 38 open runs, is the clear standout. For Colorado riders, Keystone offers the most terrain right now, but set your expectations accordingly. We're talking early season conditions with primarily man-made snow. No matter where you choose to get your first turns in, remember that resorts will continue to open more terrain as conditions allow. By Thanksgiving, we should see significantly more options across North America, assuming Mother Nature cooperates. If you've already gotten out for your first day this season, drop a comment letting me know how the conditions were. And if this helps with your early season planning, hit that subscribe button for updates on what's opening throughout the season. Thanks for watching. Ciao.